Hey guys, Scripture here with another video, and this is an interesting one. It's about Saw Gerrera, and he has a scene at the end of the 6th episode of Andor Season 2. I think it was the 6th episode? Could have been the 5th. I don't know, man. They're all melding together at this point, but where they explain why he has the breathing apparatus. But there's some other things to this that are kind of screwed up. In terms of continuity in the show. But let's just see this. So Rogue One: A Star Wars Story gave her first live-action look at rebel agitator Saw Gerrera, who was first introduced in the animated form on The Clone Wars. And that live-action look included Forrest Whitaker sporting a very unique accessory in the form of a mask that Saw would periodically put over his face and inhale from. Now, thanks to the latest batch of Andor Season 2 episodes, we have our backstory to the mysterious mask, and according to creator Tony Gilroy, the backstory now gives him an opportunity to answer a previously unanswerable question. The Saw Gerrera thing in Rogue, he has the mask, and he's huffing that thing all the time, and people always ask, what is that? Gilroy notes, and I'm like, I don't really effing know what it is. What is it? Like, the more quotes I'm reading from this Gilroy character, the more I'm like, dude, are you thinking about what you're doing here? Really? Like, it's kind of weird. I had a previous video there where he makes some weird quotes. My last one. Well, no, two before this. The one about the no one cares. And he makes some very strange statements, this guy. And that's a really weird one because it's like, you're the one who put the mask that he's huffing in the show, but you didn't know why he was doing that? That's kind of weird. I also noticed that his legs are not blown off so far in Andor. I don't think they are. So my take was he got in some form of an accident and he lost half of his legs and he needs a ventilator to help him breathe because something's happened to him. That's I think, can we all agree that's kind of what we figured in Rogue One, right? Anyway, well, now we know, with all credit going to one of Andor's writers, Bill Willimon, called me one night and goes, hey man, what if it's this? And Willimon in this season has been very into like people taking drugs and people like this 3 episode, like everyone's drinking, everyone's doing drugs, everyone's like, it's very So this is where it gets super weird. This in question is none other than rhydonium, a previously established volatile starship fuel that can explode if not handled properly by an expert, and that expert is none other than Wilmon, who is sent by Luthen to show Saw the dangerous process of stealing rhydonium out of ships. Wilmon then becomes Saw's captive until he teaches someone how to do it. You're here until I get what I need. Only the person he teaches turns out to actually be a spy, so Saw kills him, forcing Wilmon to do the process himself. Along the way, it is divulged that Saw has not been protecting himself with a gas mask from the harmful rhydonium fumes. Not only that, but he convinces Wilmon to take his mask off and breathe in the toxic fuel for himself. Let it in, he implores Wilmon. That's freedom calling. Like, literally, this is I don't know how old Wilmon is. Just a sec, I'm going to check. Okay, so Wilmon is 16 years old during the events of Andor Season 1. So this second batch would be he's 18. So here you have, think how, this is why this writer is, like, I don't know why everyone thinks he's so amazing. Yes, I get the prison sequences were cool and stuff, but in Andor Season 1, but man, like, the amount of drug use and things in this, and now he's got a older guy, Saw Gerrera, grooming an 18-year-old to huff chemicals.
You think I'm crazy? Get it in, boy! That's freedom calling! Let it run wild!
Hold on. Wait. I gotta see how old Saw is. Because you gotta figure, like, he looks like he's, like, at least gotta be in his 50s. This AI is saying he's likely in his 50s or 60s during Rogue One. So he was gotta be at least in his 50s. He looks like he's in his 60s. Screen Rant, how old are the Rogue One characters during Andor? Every Rogue One character's age in Andor is 5 years minus their respective ages when they did the movie. This means that in Andor, casting Andor's age is 21. That's stupid. That can't be real. What? That makes no sense. And Diego Luna looks like he's 40. Why would they depict him as... What the... So in Andor, he's 26? He looks like he's 40. I didn't see. I'm just discovering this with you guys. So, like, this is insane. Saw Guerrera's age makes absolutely no sense. Saw was safely around 18 to 26 in age, 26 being a quite generous maximum. This was in 20 BBY. 7 years later, in 13 BBY, Saw would reasonably be 25 to 33. But he doesn't look like that. Like, here he is in Rebels. Saw was safely around 18 to 26 in age, 26 being quite generous. He should be 25 to 33 in 13 BBY. So that would only make him in his 40s. But he seems a lot older than that. Yeah, they kind of screwed this up. Either way, the point being is this guy's at least in his 40s. He looks like he's in his 50s. And he's grooming an 18-year-old kid to huff gas. Like, what? Guys, I'm just saying, that is weird. Okay, over time it appears Saw not only learned to tolerate the Rhydonium fumes, but became to rely on them. Hence the Rogue One mask, and now we have the origin story. What's the most laughable thing that Luthen could give to Saw? Asked Gilroy. What if Luthen gave him a chance to steal fuel wherever it was? What a gift to really seal that bond. So the idea was cool, and Bo came back and did all the first passes on that speech about Rhydonium. It was a really cool idea. So Luthen's like... Hey man, I'll let you steal as much of your gas you want to huff as you want, man. Oh. Like, this is what I mean. Like, the rebels are not heroes at all. They're awful. And you're grooming a kid. Now he's going to get addicted to it too, you idiot. It's such a cool idea that we have groomers in the rebellion. And a really cool speech delivery courtesy of Whitaker. What a thrill to work with someone like Forrest. Yeah, he literally says in the show that he calls the Rhydomium, or whatever the heck it's called, he calls it his sister, and he loves her. Like, was he like that in Rebels? I didn't watch Rebels. Let me know in the comment section. Like, was he like that? Because this takes place during the same time period, and this also creates another problem, and I'll discuss that in a second here. Of course, Willimon is the one who gets caught in the middle, partly as a product of a frustrated Cassian beginning to distance himself from Luthen. Luthen's human resource skills are very poor. He's really not good at managing people and losing control, so Cassian is pulling away, but I wanted Wilmot to stay as the new surrogate son and to keep the connection, and I wanted to keep reinforcing and reminding people that Luthen is doing. He's sending equipment, he's supporting everybody, and it seems inadvertently sending Saw's Rhydonium habit into overdrive, which will show up in all its mask-sucking glory in just 3 years' time. Freedom is calling, baby. Ugh. Gross. So, first of all, it's gross. It's gross, just... The guy's huffing fumes all day long. It's not as cool as Gilroy and his writer think it is. It's not as trendy and cool. I think these are like old dudes who think they think what young people like. Like, I know Gilroy's got to be 60 at least. How old's this Bo? Like, is Bo the nerdy kid in class that just always wanted to be cool? He's 47 years old, and he thinks that, like, he looks like he huffs. Look at his face. Look at his eyes, man. He looks like a huffer. Oh, man. Dude, get some sleep. Whoa, yeah, I don't know, man. Whatever, but he's in his 40s, and he thinks he knows what kids think is, quote, cool, him and Gilroy. Yeah, huffing fumes. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so then we get to the next thing, which is funny. So here's the hair. So you got the air thing and the hair thing. So the air thing we're still not done with. There's a little more to that. And then we got the hair thing. So this is, look at the timeline and look at his head. Okay, so this is 19 BBY. So as time goes by, then he decided to shave it in Fallen Order. Then he grew it back a few years later. Then he shaved it again. He shaved it. And then he grew it back again. In 0 BBY. But if you look at the timeline, Rogue One, and this is a Rebels picture, takes place at the same time. Sorry, excuse me. Andor takes place at the same time as Star Wars Rebels. Rebels and Andor start at the exact same time and end essentially at the exact same time. At A New Hope and Rogue One. So what's going on here? Because he's got a lot of hair and he looks old. Here he doesn't even have a grayish beard. And then this is what he looks like on the show right now, which takes place before this. This 3-episode block takes place before this. And he looks like this. What the heck is going on? And the thing that's really funny about this is that Dave Filoni, the Rebels are his show. And he's the chief creative officer, and he's high up. And did he not explain any of this to him? And that takes me to the final point about the air thing. So that's the hair thing. So they screwed up the hair. The age is kind of all over the place, right? That's kind of a bit of a screw up. It's not too bad, but it's a bit of a screw up. And then the air thing, if you look at any photo of him from Rebels, he doesn't have the air thing. He didn't have the air thing in Rebels. So what is he doing? He's taking it off for the cartoon and putting it on for the live action? Like, did they not think? So when they had him in Rogue One with the air thing, goes back all the way to the beginning of this video. When they went back to that, all of us assumed with the feet and the air thing that he had been in some sort of horrible accident. But that accident would have had to have taken place later in the story, like close to Rogue One, because in Rebels, that's not the case. And he doesn't have the air thing or anything. Again, Filoni's the chief creative officer. He is supposed to know his story. I don't let anyone else off the hook either, Pablo Hidalgo, any of these story group people. How do you not recognize that you're adding the huffing thing into a timeline where he didn't have it? Because they take place on the same timeline. He doesn't have it in Rebels. So the only way it would work is if you added it at the very end, right before Rogue One. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense with the continuity. And you're going to say, well, that's a nitpick. Is it really? This is Dave's show. Rebels is Dave's show. Do these people not talk? Did they not communicate? Did the guy who wrote these episodes, and Tony Gilroy, whatever his name is, guy with the face that looks like he's on something, him and Tony Gilroy made this show, but they didn't bother to watch Rebels that takes place during the exact same time period with characters that are in this show? They didn't take the time? Or did they take the time and they didn't even notice any of this because they weren't paying enough attention? This is where I don't get it. They told us, oh, the story group and Pablo and Dave and all this, they're going to save us from continuity issues and lore issues and problems. They're going to make everything better. And this is a pretty obvious thing. Again, you've got the age issues. The way he looks doesn't make sense. You got the hair issues, which is you can get away with, but it's kind of dumb. And then you got the air issue or the huffing issue, which doesn't make sense in the timeline. And then he's grooming a barely adult. Dude, I don't understand. Like, this show is so, like, it's not that sophisticated. Clearly, they didn't take the time to make it very sophisticated. There's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of nonsense monologues. Yes, I kind of liked Luthen's when he was talking to Lenny or Leon or whatever in season 1. That was kind of cool. But none of these other monologues are any good at all. They're all weird. Saw Gerrera's a weirdo groomer. And the rebellion sucks. And there's drug use. And Bix is doing drugs. And Guerrero's huffing. And grooming. And everyone's drinking. And Mon Mothma's getting drunk. So literally, this is the rebellion. This is the rebellion. The rebellion now, in Disney canon, is a bunch of drunk, drug-addicted, compromised Mon Mothma pimping her daughter out, scamming, huffer, drug user losers. That's the leadership of the rebellion. And murderers. Luthen's willing to full-on send a whole pile of good people to go die knowing they're going to die, without even giving them a chance. We saw that in season 1. So these people are all just garbage. And this is what I was trying to tell everybody from the beginning. Nobody listens to me. They're trying to be like Game of Thrones where everybody's garbage. This is Star Wars. It's good versus evil. We don't want this. That's why nobody's watching this. So this is a huge screw up. It's funny. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I just, what are they doing over there? I think they're all high. That's why they write their characters to be high all the time, because they're high all the time. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. Always helps the channel. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel and have yourselves a really good day.